What's up, everybody? Jay Atramesa here. How you guys doing? So it's gonna be a little bit different stream than normal. Um, Something I've been wanting to do for a while, and I just never got a chance to do it. God, I need to shave. Shit, I look like shit. Um, Damn, where my hell is? There we go. Oh, there we go. So what I'm gonna be doing basically is I put on my Instagram story, one of those ask me anything things. And normally I would just answer them there on Instagram after I'll get like a whole bunch, and then I'll just spend a while just answering them. But I decided I'll do that live today, and I'll just go through them and I'll just speak out my answers instead of just typing them out. So it's a little bit different. Today I will also be, he and Angel I believe will be there, and we'll be doing some live art. I already posted a little preview. I did a quick sketch for what I'm going to be doing. Um, so you could definitely tune in on that. After the stream, I'll put the links to her Twitch and all that good stuff. So that way you guys know exactly where to go watch that. And yeah, pretty much that's about it for what my Sunday is gonna be. Today's Sunday. The days don't, you just like feel like just one long day. So of course my stream is brought to you by my partners. XP Tourbox, No Compromise Gaming, Raze Energy, NoName Nerds, MyPyre Creative Cloud. You see one for Twitch, one for YouTube. Once I hit the milestone numbers that I need, for YouTube it's 100, for Twitch it's 50. I will be giving away 2 swag bags courtesy of Raze Energy and NoName Nerds. Each one will come with different things. Each one comes with some face masks. So the NoName Nerds one comes with a Kaiwai face mask that goes right over the mouth, and then a NoName Nerd branded gator. If you don't know what a gator is, um, looks like basically a big sleeve, and you know, you can convert it where it's like all over your face, only your eyes show, or if you only want to cover part of your face or whatever, and basically you could just cover your face however you want. So it comes with that. The Raze Energy one comes with 2 custom handmade face masks by Fashion by Nati with a free 11 by 17 signed holographic print. This is the print right here. You can see the holographic if I move it in the light. So that is the free print that you will each receive. And then each one will also come with a free Steam game download. One is Payday, one is Sims 4. And the Raze Energy, you get a Raze Energy drawstring bag. The NoName Nerd, you just get a regular bag. So that's what you'll get. First one to hit the number gets first pick on which bag they want and which game they want. So if you want to double your chances of winning, just subscribe on my Twitch and YouTube. You see it. Can I do this here? Is it not showing my mouse? Oh, it's not even showing my mouse. Oh, anyway, it's right there. That's my channels right there. Just search up Atramesa, ATRAMESSOR, and whatever platform I will pop up. And then if you want to follow me on my social medias, this is all my social medias right here. And I also have some other links right here for like the shirts and my PSN name and all that good stuff. And right here is my schedule. Even though I haven't really been following it, that's my fault. But it is what it is. So anyway, before we get started, just want to show you guys some of these. These are the newest prints that I came in. These are all prints that I've done live on stream. So if you want to see me creating these prints, just go to my YouTube, look at my live stream channel, my art channel I should say, and you'll see the process there. One of my most requested pieces is my Doctor Doom. I've been asked to do Doctor Doom for about a year and a half now, so I finally did it. Probably my most requested ever since the movie came out, Miles Morales. Now, I'm gonna come up front and say this is not my favorite Spider-Man, but this is one of my favorite Spider-Man pieces that I've done. Of course, my tribute to the Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace. my Wonder Woman versus Cheetah. Now this Wonder Woman was a part of the homies Son of a Saints Worlds Collide piece series, I should say. He asked me to collab on one of the battles. So he did. He pulled Captain Planet versus Wonder Woman. So I did the Wonder Woman. This is my Wonder Woman here, and then I just did my own piece with my Wonder Woman. This might be one of my favorite pieces that I've done so far. My Three Jokers piece. It's a lot of nice little Easter eggs in here. Another favorite. This was a collab that I did with the Funk Soul Brother. Going off the Three Jokers streams, I call this the Haunting of Harley Quinn. So this was done live. My Vegeta piece, which is also done live as well. Because I've been a little bit in a anime little thing right now. I just finished Goku. I did a Goku and Vegeta. This is Tappy from My Hero Academia, who was suggested to me by the homie Pete. And lastly, you can see it, our book, the glass cover and all that good stuff. This is the print of the cover. Finish a few more pieces, and then I basically do an order once I get like 4 or 5 pieces done. Then I'll order those 4 or 5 pieces. So all that stuff's out the way. We'll get through these questions. It was about 40 of them. I don't know if I'm gonna do all 40. I got my IG open here with all the questions. So let me see here. All right. So I'm not gonna be putting no names out there, so no worries, because this is supposed to be anonymous questions anyway. So a lot of these are just like standard questions. How long have I been making art? So I've been making art. I'd say like before that, I always doodled. I was always into comic books. My father got me into comic books, so I always read comics, Marvel, DC, all that good stuff. I collected back then, and yeah, since then I've always been into art. But if you're asking how long it's been that I've been making art, where kind of making some money off of it, like doing designs for other people and stuff like that. In terms of that, I'd say about 10 years, 10 years. And in terms of doing this kind of stuff and doing shows and all that stuff, let me see, I was in 2000, the end of 2016, so maybe 4 years now. So that'll be that. What advice would you give to an artist learning digital art? So I'm self-taught. Basically, I had a computer. I just learned the program. I got the program, learned trial and error, stuff like that. Back then, they didn't have YouTube. They didn't have, you know, websites you can go and get tutorials. Now, it's all there. So it's a lot easier now to get into it and to learn it. For one, YouTube, amazing resource in terms of if you're trying to figure out how to do something. Um, Tutorials, free tutorials are out there. There's classes you can take online that aren't that expensive that you can do. There's websites that you can find now for tutorials. Um, One of the best things you could do is if you look up a favorite artist of yours, and if they do live streams, or they'll do, sometimes you see them do that speed art stuff, which I want to do. I just have to figure out how to do that. Watching that, you'll see how they do things. And then also in terms of equipment, I mean, now you can get a non-display drawing tablet, a small one, for like $40 right now. So it's very easy to start getting into it and learning now. Um, there's so many options there. So if you're trying to get into digital art, this is the best time to do it. That would be what I would say to you there. What do I miss most about shows? So I've covered this a lot on the pit with Pete. Um, I'd say the main thing would be the travel. I like I've never really traveled before doing shows because I've never had either the funds to or the time to. When I was working regular jobs, I didn't really take vacations. Um, Before the art thing years back, I was in a band, so I would use up my vacation days to play shows. So I never had accumulated a set amount of days where I could take like a week off and go out somewhere. So I never really had vacations. So I never really traveled. The band thing was the closest I got to traveling, but that was mostly my tri-state area. Um, doing these shows, I've gotten to go to other states around the country, and it's been a lot of fun. I slum it out. I don't go stay in the 5 star hotel. I find the cheapest hotel I can stay in, and when I go out to these shows, I'm there to work. I'm not there to sightsee or stuff like that. But even with that said, you still get to see things. So I miss the travel. Of course, I miss interacting with fans, interacting with people. Just people walking by, window shopping, and they'll see something maybe on my wall, and they'll start asking me, or we'll start talking about a character or a genre or anything. And you see people there that might be, say, introverted, because I'm kind of an introvert too. I'm not. It takes a while for me to warm up to somebody and really talk to them. But when you see someone who is normally very shy or something like that, and they'll see you know, a piece that you did, and they just brighten up, and you start talking to them and stuff like that. That's the thing that I miss. And of course, just hanging out with the homies and stuff like that. And then, of course, I'm gonna be for real. I mean, the money. I mean, this is how I make my living. This is how I pay my bills. And this year's been rough. It's been very, very rough. So I definitely there's a few things I miss from shows and stuff like that. Let me see. Favorite Comic Cons. New York Comic Con is number one. That's my my biggest show. That's the show that I know I'm gonna make the chunk of my money for the year. Um, I mean, just to give you an idea, my car that I got last year, New York Comic Con paid for that car. Um, Besides New York Comic Con, I love Awesome Con. That is a very fun show to do, very well run. Um, and they don't even have to be big shows like CradleCon, which is a local show, 2 day show in my Long Island, my New York area. For being a small show, is run amazingly well, better than a lot of big shows. Treat the artists and stuff like that like guests, not just like normal. A lot of these big shows, the celebrity guests are the ones that are treated like kings and queens and have green rooms and food and stuff like that. And I'm not a big name artist, but like big name artists are there listed as guests, but don't get guest treatment because they're not a celebrity. I mean, it's what the landscape is of the shows now. But CreatorCon is very good when it comes to doing that stuff. Another favorite. Let me see. I'm trying to think of off the top of my head. Do, 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 do. I would say Keystone, but Keystone is a good show for different reasons. Um, that show is new. That show is still finding its legs and its platform. Um, I mean, they've only done two of them so far. This would have been the third year, but each year it's gotten better. So that's a good one. That's also a Reed Pop show. C2E2 is a favorite. Uh, yeah, off the top of my head, that's the main ones that I can think of. But definitely New York Comic Con, Awesome Con are part of my 1 and 2 shows. What is the difference between traditional and digital art? So traditional art is basically anything not done with a computer. Um, Pencil on paper, paint on canvas, paint on paper, anything that would be considered traditional art. Digital is obviously anything done on the computer. The thing is, digital gets a lot of hate. I completely understand some of the hate. There's definitely people out there that call themselves digital artists and are not artists and are just basically just googling things, printing them out, or just whatever the case may be. Um, and the digital guys hate that. But what ends up happening is they lump all digital guys into that. A lot of it is them not understanding and them thinking that the computer just does everything for you. You press a button and it pops out. The sad part of it is that a lot of these traditional guys or traditional people can go right into digital and all their knowledge and skills from traditional will translate over into digital and they would do amazing pieces. There's some artists that are so amazing. You think it's done traditional, but it was done digital. Vice versa, there's some guys there who are so nasty with it that they'll do a traditional piece and you'll look at it like a print of it or whatever, and you'll be like, that was done in Photoshop. It's not a one is better than the other thing. There is both of them go hand in hand, and if I'm not able to draw a line on paper, I'm not gonna be able to draw a line on my computer. You know what I mean? So the hate shouldn't be there. But there is a difference between traditional and digital. And one thing I'll say in terms of the collector's market, for the collector's market, traditional is going to be the king because that painting is a one of one. So there might be prints of that painting, but it would never be the actual painting with the actual paints and everything on canvas. Like I have originals that I've collected, and prints just aren't the same. So there's always going to be that collector's aspect, that collector's market for traditional. So traditional is never going to go away. But in this comic book industry, everything is moving towards digital, and the fact of the matter is these traditional guys are gonna have to they're gonna have to move too. It is what it is. Let me see here. Can I do a tutorial on how I do folds in clothes? I can absolutely do that. That might actually be something I can do for my Patreon and on live. So I could definitely do that. Um, Probably this week. I mean, I have no problems making tutorials. I have a few tutorials, but they're on my Patreon. How do I like live streaming? So, like I said, I'm sort of an introvert. Um, I didn't like live streaming. I never thought I would be doing it. Um, I was kind of forced into it because of the whole 2020 situation. But now that I have been doing it, I've it's a lot of fun. I really really like doing it now, and it's a very nice way. I think in terms of me to get out my shell a little bit, to be able to chat more, um, and things like that. It's a very nice way of being able to do that and build that up. Because some people are just naturally outgoing, naturally talkers and stuff like that. I'm not like that. But this has been a big help in terms of that. And also, I get to like figure out how I'm gonna do like my setup and stuff like that. So, in the technical aspects, it's a lot of fun as well. Uh, when did I start making art like this? So I kind of answered that in my when I was in my intro. Um, in terms of this kind of art and stuff like that, um, it's been about 4 years. In terms of doing like illustrations, I'd say it's been about 9, 8, 9 years. What is my favorite type of work to do? Honestly, for me, it'd be like T-shirt designs, logo designs, uh, skateboard decks that I've done a few of were so much fun. So stuff like that, it would be part of like my favorite thing to do. Especially like T-shirt designs. I love doing T-shirt designs. How do you have your setup for art? Art. How do I have my setup for art? So I basically use mainly Photoshop and Illustrator. I have the Adobe Creative Cloud, so you subscribe and you get all the programs, I should say. I have XP Pen. Artist 24 Pro is my main drawing tablet. It's right up here right now, and it's on the arm, so I can move it around and stuff like that. You can see it right here. So this is my Artist 24 Pro, right there. And then my normal computer. I mean, I have a nicer computer now, but that's not what I had before. Um, but that's all you really need. That's all you really need. In terms of me, I mean, that's all I'm really using is just Photoshop, Illustrator, and my XP Pen tablet. That's about it. What is your favorite art piece that off the top of my head, I would say from beginning to end, it came out how I pictured it in my head. So that's a favorite. Um, a lot of my Spider-Mans, like my Spider-Man Daredevil, I love that piece. That's the AR augmented reality movement. That's a favorite of mine. Um, so yeah, I was. What was the best Comic Con experience that you've had? Uh, that there was these kids that basically they had a hat like a fitted hat, and they were getting all the artists to sign the hat for them. And I remember them coming to me and you know asked me to sign the hat, and I was like, "Are you sure?" Like I was like, "I'm a nobody. Like I'm not a big name." And one of the kids was like, he's like, "No, I want you to sign it. You're an artist alley, and I'm look your work is amazing, and you might be a nobody now, but you'll be a somebody one day." So that was like one of my favorite memories. Um, Another one would be showing. God, his name escapes me right now. Let me just Google it real quick. I feel terrible that I can't remember his name right now. Jim Starling. There we go. Jim Starling was at Terrificon, and I went and I showed him my Thanos piece, my one with him on the throne, and he really liked it, and he was getting talking to me about it. So that was a cool memory. And this is gonna sound weird. I don't really fanboy over celebrities or anything like that. I fanboy over like cosplayers that I like, and if I meet them like at a show, like or if I see they're gonna be at the show and I get to meet them, I'm more of a fanboy for that. Um, in New York Comic Con, I got to meet Elise Loren, who was a huge favorite of mine. I got to meet Royalatis Taylor, a few other ones. So those are part of my best memories. And this one goes along with that question. Said, what was the worst one? So I've talked about this before. I'm not going to mention names, but the first Keystone, I was next to a certain artist, and for some reason, well, he was one of those people that has doesn't like digital artists, blah blah blah, doesn't think it's art, and he basically made sure that I knew he did not like me, he did not like my art. He made sure to get all his buddies to come over and trash me all weekend long, and like this was like basically during the setup each day before doors open until breakdown at the end of the day was just constant, talking shit, and like it was one of those things I just ignored it. And you know, because I'm like I said, I'm not a name. Their name. So if I was to get into something with them, who is the show gonna side with? They're not gonna side with me. I'm a nobody. So that was one of those cases where I just had to eat it. I had to eat the shit. Best revenge was I made the most money that weekend. They sat there with their thumb up their ass, complaining about the show was terrible, they're not making money, this and that. And I had a great show. Best revenge is success. Let me see. What is your dream art job? So my dream art job would definitely be working with, like, say, Marvel, DC, or any, image or whatever, doing like variant covers or doing movie posters and stuff like that, like official ones. That would be my dream job. What is your favorite Photoshop tool? That would be the one that I press that just makes everything come out. Once they make that and they add that into Photoshop, that'll be my favorite one. But my current favorite one will be the mixer brush. I found that makes it so much easier for me when I'm doing my digital painting, because now with the one brush I'm able to make tones and different things like that, where before I'd have to do separate brushes. How do I like living in New York City? I hate New York City. I despise New York City. I cannot wait to leave New York City. I've lived here my whole life and I have grown to just hate living here. Hate it. Can't wait to leave. It's just the cost of living is just keep going up and up and up. The things that they do is just a nightmare. And it's things that just don't do in other places. Um, like alternate side parking. You mention alternate side parking in another state to someone, they don't know what that is. So what that is basically you can't be parked on the street during certain times during the week, so they can clean it, move it. And parking is very limited over here. Like finding parking is like Hunger Games out here. Like unless you have like a private house and you have your own driveway or something, it's Hunger Games out here. Like yeah, it's vicious. So like when I get parking, I'm like I absolutely have to, I'm not driving nowhere. I'm not going nowhere because I'm not losing my parking spot, because it's one of those things that you're not even pulled out the spot and someone's already pulling in. Like it's insane. Um, but then Connecticut started getting super shady, in terms of like the taxes and the cost of living and all that. I thought about Pennsylvania, but after going to Pennsylvania for a lot of shows, I don't want to say. There's reasons I don't want to go to Pennsylvania. So Florida is not my destination I want to go to, because I'd rather deal with rain than deal with snow. I'd rather be hot than be cold, because if I'm hot, I can just put the AC on and be cold. Uh, are you going to do any more holographic prints? Yes, I will be doing more holographic special editions. That's more going to be when shows start up, though. Any bad client stories? I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot. You might see these memes about like being a graphic artist. Those memes are all based on real shit that goes down. In terms of things they ask for or whatever. One thing, I got you, bro. I'll answer that right after this. Um, One thing when it comes to clients that I've learned is whenever you make your contract with your client, you need to put how many revisions are allowed. Because if you do not put how many revisions are allowed, that client will be contacting you 6 months later asking you to change XYZ, and will feel like they are owed that because they paid for it 6 months ago and it was done and they approved it, and all of a sudden they want to change this color to that color or change this little thing to that, and they think you're basically their indentured servant for life now because they paid for you, and they can just come to you and ask you to change something whenever they want. So if you are a professional graphic artist or whatever, you need to have how many revisions are allowed in that price. So, and let them understand that later, if you come back and you want more revisions, you are making a new contract and paying again. Just is it is what it is. So roadside trucks asked me on Twitter, oh not Twitter, Twitch. I have a terrible memory. Um, the Aliens movies are favorites. Even though that's like sci-fi horror. Um, what was that movie with the ship? God, Event Horizon. That's a favorite. Um, that last that one that came out. I can't. I'm so horrible with names. Movies. That it was that movie where they had the wish box. Damn, what was the freaking name of that freaking movie? Was it Wish Upon? It might have been. That one was pretty cool. I like the story of it. Um, like stuff like that. I mean, horror movies are to me are usually they're kind of cheesy, or they're kind of they're not really scary. So I look more towards like, or is the whatever the thing is looks dope. That does it have is the atmosphere dope, the cinematography dope. That's more what I look for. All that just practice. I mean, it's like a muscle. You are not just gonna watch a tutorial and be nasty. Like you have to practice. Will I be mailing out prints on Patreon? Probably after in the new year, starting in January. I gotta see the mail is still shitty over here. Doing more anime characters, yes. Once I do this last one, I'm gonna go back to my regular stuff, and then I'll come back and do some anime ones later. But I will definitely Spider Man. Not even a doubt, not even a question. Spider Man. How do I make a? But it's doable. It's absolutely doable. Um, One thing I always tell people: up until the middle of 2018, I always had a day job. I lost. I left my day job, lost it, whatever. 2019, and then from there, I always had like odd. I made more than what I did when I had a day job. So in my head, I was like, amazing, I can do this, and you can. It's very very doable. 2020 showed me all that gets taken away very quickly because I only got up to the first week in February for shows before everything died. And my I'm doing a show December 6th, so I'm going from it was February something, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. 9 months of no shows, of no income from shows, and trying to find income from everywhere else, commission, selling prints, Patreon, whatever. So can it be done? Yes, but you have to grind and you have to work and you have to push and you're gonna have to go out of your comfort zone. What's the best way to get started in art? Get started. Just start. Start drawing on paper. Start painting on canvas. If you're on a computer, get a program. There's many free programs. It's Critter. Critter's free. It's made by the people who made Photoshop. It's very very similar. And again, it's free. So you could get Critter, a small uh, tablet, non-display one, and just start. And just start. Could I look at your any questions about art? If someone DMs me, just DM me, I'll DM you back. I'll be honest about what I think. But again, I'm nobody big, nobody famous. I could only tell you what I think. But I have no problem doing that. Do I have any variant covers out that you can buy? No official ones. One day we'll get there. I'm trying to work some out. We'll see what happens. Will I be doing shows next year? As soon as they start, I will be on the road. I already have shows booked. We'll see if they happen. Let's see here. What is the best advice I've ever received? I mean, this is not even just toward from art advice. This is just life advice. Um, Not to care what people think. Like, don't let people's opinions matter to me. If it's a good opinion, great. If it's a bad opinion, whatever. You gotta be about you and about what you're doing. Like, if you're not happy, then there's a problem. As long as you're happy doing what you're doing, that's all that matters. So if you do an art style that someone might come to you and be like, "Oh, that art style sucks. Like you should be doing this." Fuck that person. If you are happy doing that art style, that then do that art style. That's it. Like, don't let a nobody try and bring you down. And if your friends or family are trashing you, ignore them. Like, ignore them because they should be supporting you. Who are the artists I look up to? So there's a whole bunch. I'm just gonna name the digital artists because that's my field. Obviously, Boss Logic, Spider Monkey, Ultra Raw, House of Matt, the Trinity, Art Germ, um, Andy and where's Andy K Art, I believe it is. There's a few other ones I can't think of their names right off the bat of my head. Do I think digital art is better than traditional art? No, I think art is art. Whatever art you're into, it is. Mask on or off when outside, man. Put your mask on. Put your mask on. The mask is there to protect others from you. Just put your mask on, man. I see these people fighting to get into stores and stuff like that, man. Just put the mask on. You're not gonna die. I hate having my mask on. What were my goals in 2020 and did I achieve them? Wow. So 2020 has been a shit show. Everybody knows this. It's been a shit show. I had a lot of goals that I wanted to do this year. I was booked for the most shows I was ever going to do in a year. Like I was literally booked 3 weekends a month every month. I think I took like 1 weekend off a month. Um, in terms of goals, I had personal goals that I wanted to do. Um, in terms of like follower count, things like that. I mean, those are just immaterial things, but those are just things that are good. Feel make you feel good when one door closes, another door opens. Because of all this was going on, I feel like my art has gotten better. I've made. I was able to get out there differently than I was before, social media wise. Prior to 2020, I really only used Instagram. I hate Facebook. Twitter, I didn't. I only used for like sports. Like I didn't really use it for anything. Um, Never did lives, any of that stuff. Didn't have a Patreon, and 2020 forced me to go down those avenues and use everything. And you should be using everything. And that's opened up so many doors for me. I mean, you see it right here. You know, these people believed in me. They believed in what I was doing. So those doors opened for me. And had 2020 just been a regular year, none of this is happening right now. I'm not doing this live. Nothing. What are my goals for 2021? I want to grow this. The art thing is always going to be number one, my priority, my love. But this, I want to grow it because this is just another avenue for me to interact with you guys and build a following and have fun and all that stuff. You get to see me make art live. You get to see me game and get really pissed off when I lose. And when there's no shows, like say 2021, everything's fine, back to normal, and I'm going to my shows. The show's only on the weekend, or 4 days a week. Those other days, I can be here interacting with you guys. Or if I'm on the road, I can go live while I'm on the road, and stuff like that. It would be a brand, basically. Manga or anime, and why? Manga. I love anime, but manga all the way. Less filler. Zero two. I'm into the females. I mean, I'm sorry. PS5 or Xbox Series X. PS5. I already got mine ordered. It's coming. Screw the Xbox. Have zero interest in Xbox. Never wanted one. Never had one. Why are you always sus and among you? Because I like to act sus. I like to get people mad and all that stuff. I can be a bit of a troll. I like talking a lot of crap. I wish there was voice chat. Um, but I think it's just more funny that when you just always acting suspicious. What is one thing you want to get better at art wise? Negative space use. Sometimes I feel like when I do a piece, it's just too much. Yeah, like it has to be something everywhere. And I'll see something like Boss Logic will do a piece, and it's mostly just black, and then just a piece. Might be maybe just the face and whatever, and looks amazing. Like that's I struggle with that. Like I would love to get better at that. Absolutely. If you could collab with any artist, who would it be? I mean, pretty much all my art heroes. So Boss Logic, King's Letter, Spider Monkey, Ultra Raw. Any of those guys, I would. Funk Soul Brother, but those guys I would love to do something with. Let me see if there's any I missed. I love the Artist Club shirts. What's the story behind them? Okay, so this right there, that's the Artist Club shirt. Right here is the Artist Club shirt. So the Artist Club shirts were basically something that it came out with out of a situation, a bad situation at a Comic Con. Not gonna mention names, but it was run terribly, and it was a very long weekend. Me, Pete, and Angel were there, and we were basically all side by side. It just worked out that way, and we made a joke thing about how they have Bullet Club and wrestling. We were Artist Club, blah blah blah. We had to stick together, blah 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 blah. So that was like the main thing. It was us talking and stuff like that. And on a whim, I said I made a logo, and I showed Pete. Pete loved it, so I should make shirts. Since then, I've been making the shirts, and then the main thing that really pushed me into doing it was the stuff that happened at Keystone. That first Keystone with the artist next to me. I'm all about positivity and being positive, and I'm friendly with everybody. I give everybody respect. I'm there too as a fan. When I see there's an artist that I like or I'll follow on Instagram, and they're there, I always make a point to go over there and talk to them, say hi, tell them how much I appreciate their art. If I'm able to, I'll buy art. And I just wanted something positive. So that was the main thing of the Artist Club. Um, and also, I don't like that there's people and there's artists that will shit on, say, cosplayers. Say that's not art. Or makeup artists or crafters and say that's not art. Or photographers, writers and say that's not art. That's all art. It's all art. So if you if you cosplay, you're making art. You're an artist. You're an artist club. And then of course, I love doing shirt designs, so I make the designs and I put them up, so like that. And I make no money off these shirts. Like I have them on TeePublic. It's tpublic.com/user/art. I make like $1 off a shirt if it's sold. I'm not in it to make money. I just want to see people wearing the shirts that I make, and be positive about it and stuff like that. And I try to make shirts that I would wear. Um, so that's what it's all about. And so like I always say, like unless you get the shirt from my store and it has my stuff on it, it's not official. Like I mean, I'm not gonna go after nobody. I'm not gonna do anything. But if you want the genuine official, you get it from my store. I'll just leave it at that. Let's see here. I think that's all the questions. I think that was all 40 something. Yep. So that was all 40 something. So thank you all as you watched it. I thank you on Twitch for throwing some questions my way. Um, I'm gonna hop off now. I'm gonna grab something to eat. I will be back on around 8:30 on No Flutter's Twitch. I'll be drawing that piece. Oh, not drawing, painting that piece, starting it, and then finishing it probably on the pit Wednesday. Oh, the pit is gonna be back this Wednesday, and it'll be the same for tonight. That's on Jen's Twitch. We'll be on the on Pete Show. I'm working on getting some art guests for me, so that when we could draw together. Um, so if there's any artists out there that want to hop on and draw live and just talk shop, and not like a show atmosphere, just an art session, please hit me up, DM me, we'll set it up. But besides that, I mean, that's all I got for you today. I will see you. All right, what time is it? 6:10. I'll see you in about 2.5 hours. I'll put on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram the links for the Jen's Twitch and all that. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Peace. I'm definitely gonna do this again. I'm not sure when, but this was a lot of fun. It's a lot better than me typing out the answers per slide on Instagram. That was for sure. Um, yeah. See you guys later. Peace.